The Nintendo Switch has made my choice harder than ever, and that's the choice between physical games and digital games. I mean, you could make a good argument for both. But there's a part of me, a part that I call Captain Nostalgia, and that's because he's old, he's grumpy, and even though physical media is sinking, he's ready to go down with that ship. Captain Nostalgia remembers a time when you made purchasing decisions off of this, and off of this. It was a strange time, a time when you could use the word manual without saying digital before it, and when Toys to Life used your imagination and not your TV screen. But it wasn't all golden sun and rainbows. One luxury we didn't have was reversible covers. Now if you're asking why is he doing this video, it's because a little game came out. A little game called Wise or Ease, depending on how you say the letter Y. When I was getting ready to jump into this role-playing game, the first thing I noticed when I opened it up was that it had a reversible cover. So that got me thinking, the Switch has actually had quite a renaissance of reversible cover art and inside art, and it's about time someone did a top 5 list of reversible cover arts. And with that, let's take it from the top. At the top of our list, and in top shape, is Tiny Barbarian DX. Nat and I laid waste to this game a while back, but I can't recommend it enough to people who mercilessly seek out classic co-op adventures. This game is a retro assault from every angle, from its gameplay to its incredible chiptune soundtrack, and even the box art. I mean, it feels like it was ripped right out of the caveman era of gaming. When we flip to the other side, at first glance you might assume it's the same, but when we see them side by side, we can see a clearly more modern looking art style. Unfortunately, I like the original art more, but I want to give this art some major props. If we go back to the side by side and pay careful attention to the back, we can see that they bothered to not just add different screenshots, but change all the writing to read slightly differently. Tiny Barbarian DX would have scored slightly better in my books if they had made one more change. You see the beautiful lass holding his rigid body? Well, at one point, this tiny Barbarian becomes playable, and I would have loved to have seen some cover representation of the poor lass. Easing into our second game is Wise 8, damn it, Ease 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. At the very start of the game, you become shipwrecked on an island, and you are tasked with exploring it by day and taking care of your doggy by night. I haven't actually got very far into it yet. In fact, I haven't even met the lovely young lady on the cover yet. And with Octopath Traveler out this Friday, it's dangerously close to being cast aside with the other castaways. But before I abandon ship, I will be reversing the cover. For on the inside here, not only do we get some lovely artwork of the island and wherever this is, we also see the removal of what I call the dietary guidelines, such as avoid accidental ingestion. This leaves us with a clear view of the artwork, which has great use of colour to create interesting layers. Plus, having the character this small on such a massive island leaves the player intrigued and wanting to know more. This would have made a much better cover than the typical slap the main characters in the front approach that JRPGs are renowned for. Launching into our third game is Spittoon 2. You kids out there already know all about this perler, but Spittoon is a really special series to me. Not just because it painted colour in what was a very grey genre, but it made multiplayer games accessible and fun to people like my partner Nat. She could paint the ground and sneak up behind people and roll out a few KOs. Even if she was just painting and not much else, she was making a big difference. Well, what about the cover, Easy? What does the cover look like? Well, this is the best part. While the main cover features the Turf Wars mode, when we pop open the box, we finally get some representation from some of my favourite parts of Spittoon 2. The single player campaign and the Salmon Run mode both get individual art. This is great because Nintendo mostly does instruction manuals on the reversible side, so seeing some art splattered on the inside was really fresh. Plus the Salmon Run mode retains its gritty orange vibes, and the story mode has a mysterious art, as well as some squid representation with the number 2. Speaking of 2, our second to last game on the list is Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. This game is a wonderful adventure game that's almost as old as me. Everything here has been made new, but it plays exactly, and I mean exactly, like the original. The efforts gone into this recreation deserve its own video, but what I will say is that if no one had told me this was an old Sega game, I would not have known, and I would have enjoyed it just as much. What we see here in the front cover is the new art, featuring the transformations, as well as something that I've made clear that I like, and that's some Wonder Girl representation. On the back we see includes retro mode. What you might not have realised is that this retro mode is turned on the reversible cover. We see some slightly more retro art of the transformations, and if we take a look at the back, we see some retro screenshots. The only thing I'm wondering about is why they didn't go with the original Sega Master System art. I mean, look how happy this guy is, slaying demons in his green gumboots and dressing gown. What a champ! There's only one spot left, and one game funky enough to make our list. That's right, serving up some bodacious box art is one radical game called Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. The box is okay, except for the fact it lies to us. On the back it claims that funky mode makes the hardest levels a breeze. I'm calling BS right now. Funky Kong does not turn Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze into Donkey Kong Tropical Breeze. There were still a few times I wanted to shove the controller right up their baboons. As for the reversible cover, the other Kongs have been put on ice, while Funky Kong takes a leaf from Crash Bandicoot's book and attempts to bring back jean shorts like it's 1996. What I really like about this cover, apart from his jean shorts, is how they removed the dietary guidelines again. However, unlike East, they stay true to the original back of box, and just adjust everything to fit, which I kinda like. It still retains that box art feel, without turning into an art box. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for our top 5 reversible cover arts. Were there any on the list that I missed? Perhaps some of your favourites? Make sure to head down to the comments below so we can discuss them. Also, this list is on reversible cover arts, meaning that it has the spine. There are plenty of Switch games out there that just have cover art on the inside, and I plan on covering them on a future episode, so if you have any of them that you know, make sure to leave them in the comments below too so I don't miss them. I'm Easy, thank you for joining me today, and if you like what just happened here, remember there's a like button, there's a subscribe button, and you do you. And remember, for everything Nintendo, stay tuned to Nintendo Everything.